Hi, students. I am going to go through now and do, I'm going to stop my video so it doesn't take up room, hopefully, on the window. Um, and I'm going to go through each of the images in the homework exercise with just like a mini video. So our goal following the book on the picture of the soup, which is image 2, we're going to look at how you can use the gra radial gradient tool. And the idea is to create a spotlight. So because this kind of isn't a very interesting photo, we're going to use light to draw attention to the center. Okay, so we will go to the masks area of the tools inside of the develop module. And then we're going to click on the radial gradient tool. Now it's automatically creating a new mask, and we have a pin we can set in the center. So what I'm going to do is just click and drag over the bowl here. Before I do that, the feathering is defaulting to 50 here on mine. So if that's where yours is, that's where you want to leave it. So remember, the feather has to do with the edges. It softens the edges to create a more blended looking transition. So the textbook gives us settings for the exposure. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Move our exposure to negative 0.95. You can also click in these boxes and just type those values in. You can either use the slider or type it. Position your pointer near the center of the dish and then drag diagonally downward and to the right. The filters are created from the center out. Now, we notice we're off the edge a bit here. So you can reposition it by dragging these pins to different places. When you hover off to the side, you can see tiny little arrows that actually allow you to twist and rotate the entire filter. When you move your mouse to the center, you get the hand, which shows me that I can move the entire thing. So now what we can see is that we've darkened the inside, but actually we want to lighten the inside and darken the outside. So once you have your mask where you want it, it should look something like my screen and something like the image on the right from the book. Now we are to adjust the feather of the gradient to 19 to limit the area of transition. So I'm just going to type the value 19 in there. The mask is set to darken the dish, but we want to do the opposite, right? So if you remember, we did this a little bit last week. We're going to invert our selection. So you can see the book on the right here. So we are looking for this checkbox here where you can select to invert it. So over under radial gradient. Now it looks like there may be two places. Woo. I'm not getting the drop down menu under this create new mask the way they have it laid out here. So let me see if I choose invert here, if that does it. Yes. So the place I have that on my Lightroom is over here to the right. I could choose it here, or I could choose the three dots on the mask and choose invert mask 1. So either way works. And when I selected that, you can see it selected the invert tab here. Okay, so we're going to now look at our results, and they're very similar, though this image looks quite a bit darker. So if I want to bring my exposure down more, I think that looks more like the image. So I'm at minus 1.19. So now to continue using the gradient, radial gradient, you can see this cup has gotten a little bit dark. So this is going to show us a couple of skills here at adding a second mask and selectively lightening another area. So we're going to use another radial gradient. So what we can do is, let's see where they suggest it. Okay, we're going to go up to the plus sign here and create new mask. Then you're going to get these familiar options. Which tool are you going to use for your selection? So we are going to choose Radial Gradient. I'm going to close this window here so you can see better. I'm going to pull from the center and just kind of move it over this cup. So now we want to lighten the cup. So we can just move over to our exposure. Now he gives us some values again. So we can try just entering those 1.48, contrast plus 30. Wow. Highlights minus 56. So I already don't like that I'm missing this corner on my mask. So as I'm making these adjustments, I want to tweak my mask a little bit. I think I want to hit the inside a little bit better. I like that better. Shadows plus 34. Highlights minus 56 feels like a lot. Oh yeah, really mutes it down though. Plus 34. And then our image should be looking something like this. So now to go back to those before and after viewing that I was showing you in class, I've got my screen minimized a little bit here. So let's hit the Y key for our shortcut, and now we see our before and afters. So for some reason, I've lost the options down here. Do I need to be in library? That's not going to work. There they are. Just leave and come back. So I wanted you to see when you right click on the before and afters, you can change the split. So this is an interesting one where it cuts the image in half. You can also see one on top, one on bottom, and then you can see a top bottom split. So when I was clicking on these earlier, that's what I meant to be showing you. And then if you read what I was showing you about this one here puts your before settings onto the after image. This one here puts the after settings on the before image. And this here swaps before and after settings. I don't use those very often, as you can see, because I blanked on what they were even there for. So it's hard for me to imagine a scenario when you would use it. And just to point out the reference active where this could come in handy would be if I had several dishes that we had wanted to create a matching sort of spotlight, you would bring your reference image here, and then each image you're editing on here, you would be trying to match those edits. Okay, so now once you have that image done, that is the radial. So that's what it should look like. And then you can export. I really want to see the befores and afters. In this case, I know what your before should look like, so you don't have to re-export those, but I would like you to put them back in the same folder that you're submitting. Please let me know if you have any questions about that. So this is going to be the video for Radial.